Bienvenidos a la Midwest Flyways podcast. I am your host, Jay Basayo. And I also got two Mings here with me. I got Cal Ness and I got Carter Denui.
Yep.
What up, dude?
You know, a lot's up, bud. A lot's up.
Busy times.
Stoked to be here on the podcast this Wednesday. We actually got a different style of podcast for you.
Yes.
Carter edited up the best of Midwest Flyways podcast clips, and it's pretty freaking funny.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's good. I think you guys will enjoy it, but we are also going to start off this podcast by saying it is sponsored by First Light. I know we've talked about it so much, but I can't say it enough how amazing the stuff that they've come out with for waterfowl is incredible. So between the rugged wool, the chalice jacket, all of the stuff specifically for waterfowl is nuts.
It is nuts. And we have so much more that you haven't seen.
Oh my God.
But you will see.
It's lit.
And it's
so
lit.
go check them out at firstlight.com. I think that we should start out this week's podcast here by talking about the draft before
we get into the best of.
Before
clips.
we get into the best of. And this is actually sent to us by a listener, and it was such a good draft idea. It was reasons that you miss a bird or don't take the shot.
Yeah, so basically best excuse so you didn't try to shoot a bird.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're using your own excuses, right?
Yeah, I'm using my very personal ones.
Good. Me too.
Yeah, 100%.
Me too. Should I start it off?
Yeah, you can. Before you do, though, new sponsor alert.
Ooh, who's that?
New sponsor alert, Ducks Unlimited, guys. So, if you don't know a lot about Ducks Unlimited, you've been living under a rock, but just look it up, ducks.org. Basically, Ducks Unlimited is committed to making sure that we actually have that resource that's what we're in love with right now, which is being able to go out and hunt ducks. So go to ducks.org and donate, and they'll send you a gift, and all of your money goes towards conserving wetlands and conserving places for these ducks to actually habitat. So check it out. Let's do the draft. Joey, do you want to start?
Yeah, I can start us out with the draft. So I actually just used this in Kansas earlier this year, and it was a real thing. We were really...
It's a real excuse?
Yeah, I used it. And it was real. Like, I legitimately swear to God I was shooting a mallard. We had a bunch of ducks coming in that day, and we were being picky. It was our last day in Kansas. It was super sunny out that day, and the sun was coming up right over these trees. You could totally tell the second that before the sun came out, it was just like, okay, greenhead, hen, and it's the end of the year, and so there's naturally a lot more males than there are females. And so I'm like, oh, we're good. You know, it's just Matt and I. We're going to kill our greenhead lemon and be out of here. And the sun comes over the trees. We've got like 4 ducks down total.
Yeah.
Huge flock of like 40 comes in. And I'm watching this one drake. He's fat. We were checking their legs for bands, everything. And we're like wanting him to get closer and closer.
You're like watching him.
Oh, yeah. No,
okay.
Like we had a lot of ducks come in that morning. We were being super picky. And we pull up, and I was like, this is the closest these are going to get. They're like 25 yards. We were trying to get them in really close. And
very greedy.
Yeah. No, yeah. But we could be greedy.
For sure.
That was the fun part.
Yeah,
and,
that's sick. The best
and I'm
days.
like, watch this one drake go like this. I'm like, 1, 2, 3. Killed 3. And I'm like, all 3 drakes. And Matt's like, oh, man, you shot a hen? I was like, no, dude. If anyone shot a hen, it was you. I know for a fact I shot the drakes because I took my time on every single shot. I'm like, no way. Send out Hank to get the birds. I'm like, damn it. There was a hen. And he goes, I swear to God, I shot these 2 ducks, and you shot that. And I'm like, come on, dude.
So you did shoot a hen?
I shot a hen.
So what's your excuse? I don't get it.
I only shot 2 out of that group. I didn't shoot 3.
What's the reason?
What was the reason? The sun, dude. The sun. I swear to God, it was a drake. And then when my dog went and grabbed it, it was a hen. I was like, there is no way. So out of the 2 birds that I shot, I was like,
please, Carter.
So in a draft on reasons why you didn't shoot, your first one was
the sun made you shoot a hen. I think you misunderstood the draft assignment.
Yes, I misunderstood my own draft. Damn it. Should we just start over?
No, we're 100% keeping that in.
I was mistaken.
Please,
I thought it was 3 ducks.
Folks, allow this to play into the vote.
Yeah.
I thought it was 3 ducks. It was only 2. I thought we were talking about a different style of draft. I was wrong.
No, but you were right the whole time. You just in your mind came up with
A
your
scenario.
first thing.
Yeah.
Your scenario.
Yeah. The sun. The sun will make me miss a duck or two. For sure.
Okay.
How's that?
That's good.
Yeah.
Made me misidentify a duck as well.
You put a lot more thought into yours than mine. So that's good. My first
Are we going
one.
clockwise or?
Oh, we can, yeah.
Yeah.
Carter, go.
We're out of practice. My first one would be if there's a dog out in the field. Can't shoot over the dog. That's why you didn't shoot the bird. Dog broke.
I mean, that's good.
Very ethical
Safety.
of you.
Yep.
Very, yeah.
Very
and
ethical of you.
that was like a great answer. The most boring one you could give, but a great one.
That's what 1-1 is for. You get a little more wild when you go on.
I see.
That's how I do
That's
it.
where
I
you,
haven't
you
won,
start
so
solid, you test the boundaries later.
yeah.
All right, I'm going to test the boundaries right away. Mine is a personal reason. It's one that very near and dear to my heart, and it happens. Got a cramp.
You've missed birds because of a cramp?
Not yet, but I can see it happening. And I'm just saying, at some point in my life, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go to shoot a bird and I'm going to get a cramp in my inner thigh or something.
Oh, my God.
So, 1-1, if I had that, you've seen it. You know it's real.
Oh, I know your cramps are very
And
real.
then you would be like, okay, that actually makes sense.
Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. So that's 1-1.
Yeah, I saw it happen, and you probably saw it happen in our YouTube video from when we did the golf course goose hunt. You can get your glove stuck in your safety.
That was my two.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Poor Matt Flummerfelt. We both land 2 banded geese, or we land like 10 geese, and 2 of them are banded, and I'm like, I'm going to take the right one, you take the left one. He's like, sounds good. I hear a click, and I'm like, oh, my God. And then I shot the second goose, and his excuse for missing the shot or not taking the shot was because his glove got stuck in the safety.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That's
missing
amazing.
out on a band.
You think it actually happened?
It was on a band. Oh, he swears that up and
How
down.
would it have clicked, though, then? Wouldn't it have just been
Well, like, you know how you push down the safety and it makes a noise? His glove got stuck as it pushed it down, so he couldn't get his finger out of it.
So what was
So
the click, though?
The click that I heard was the safety.
His glove got stuck under the safety when he pushed it in.
So when he went to go take out his trigger finger, it was stuck.
What glove was he wearing? That
He was wearing
thin
those.
enough to get stuck
He was
in?
wearing those leather Sitka gloves.
Damn.
Got to get first light. Wouldn't have happened.
True.
That's wild.
What's your number 2, baby?
This is for filmed hunts. If the camera's not on the bird, don't take the shot. Wait till the camera's on the bird.
No.
Why?
Because I'm going to take that shot.
How many times have you asked, do you have the bird?
A lot.
Yeah. So if I say no, then maybe you wouldn't shoot the bird.
Yeah, but
Maybe
if
not
you're at that
immediately.
point, if you're like at that like you got to shoot now point, what are you going to do though? Not shoot?
Yeah.
So you would just let him leave?
Or do another pass.
I mean, it's creative. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do I agree with it? No.
correct. Okay, my 2-2 is gun jammed.
Mm.
If you're gun jams. I mean, if you pull up
Classic.
in a jam, bad. Obviously, that's a pretty good reason.
That is pretty good. Can you think of a time that happened to you, or
I can think of a couple times that happened to me.
were they like monumental too?
Yeah, there was one hunt with Gavin in the afternoon. There was a really nice greenhead that it was like my turn to take the last one.
Click.
Yeah, jammed.
That's the worst feeling in the
It
world.
was a while back, but that sucked.
Probably my number 3 is it's tough. I could do one that like this one definitely hasn't happened to me, but I stopped it from happening. Was like when you're on a really snowy hunt or it's super muddy outside and like just people's guns fall or you're crawling through something and you stand up to shoot. I've seen it more than once where someone's barrel is plugged with either snow or mud. And I'm like, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot, don't shoot. Or like a squib load, like where your breech is stuck up.
Yep.
That one has happened to me. It happened on opener one year. It was super scary. I was like, 1, 2. I'm like, what was that? It was a squib
Oh, that's
load.
bad.
Squib load, and I put my gun down, and I heard all these BBs hit the water. I'm like, whoa, oh my God. But if I
That's
wouldn't
sketchy.
have noticed it, third shot, exploded barrel.
Yeah.
Not good.
Yikes.
That would have been bad.
Really bad.
My 3.
Yep.
This happened not to me, but with someone I was hunting with. He doesn't hunt very often. He took his dad's old shotgun out. First shot on a bird was fine. Second shot, gun completely fell apart. Like everything fell apart in the gun.
What was it?
I don't even remember. It was bad.
Yikes.
And, yep. Couldn't hunt the rest of the time. Couldn't shoot any more birds because his gun completely apart. Lost the parts. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
That's a good reason.
Yeah.
That shit sucks.
That sucks. For sure. I wouldn't get mad at somebody if that happened.
No.
Maybe a little bit more routine maintenance.
There's a screw loose. Let's just put it that way.
True.
All right. Mine is this happens to everybody. You think it's your shot. Bird's coming in. Guy to your left or to your right gets his gun up like he's going to take it. So you don't shoot. Thought you were going to affect.
I thought, you were.
But how many times have you been? Yeah, exactly. Where somebody's
And then the
like,
bird gets
all right,
away.
Joey's shooting the next one. But not everybody's like, yeah, you're right. Okay. Then it comes in and your buddy forgets or something. And he gets up and he's like, oh, shit, it was Joey's.
Right.
Too late.
Yeah.
My favorite, this is my, sorry.
Honorable mention.
It's very close to what you're saying when you have a bigger group
Yeah.
and birds are only lighting up on one side.
Yeah.
And so you're like, kill him. And no one ends up shooting him
Yep.
for no reason. You're
Yep.
like, oh, well, they weren't like in the middle of the group. So
There becomes group effect stuff.
oh my God. I'm just like, dude, just,
Oh, yeah.
they're right in front of you. Either you didn't see him or
Well,
something else happened.
my favorite thing about that is big group stuff. It's literally like round table fuckery because it's going to be, you're going to say something like, well, I called it for you guys and then, right, they didn't shoot. So then the next time the birds come in and the call is like even not perfect for them, now it's, well, I thought you were going to call it earlier, and that's why they didn't shoot. So then you're like, you're on them because they didn't shoot them, and then they're on you because you didn't call it at the right time. And it's just this hilarious fuck show that just never ends.
Yep.
I hate that.
It's hilarious.
But yeah, why don't you guys go on our Instagram and vote who won the draft?
Yeah.
And can you explain what you did today with the draft? That was absolute nonsense.
Yeah. So me and Cal had a theory. that the people on Instagram kind of blind voted for who they thought won without listening. So last week's draft, where it was Joey, Ben, and Gavin.
And I was absent.
Yep, Cal was gone. I put on the draft instead of Joey's name, Cal, and he won. And he didn't draft.
I didn't draft.
Nope.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking of a past episode.
Hell of a win for me, bud.
Or then they're like, well, I don't think Ben was on the episode that I listened to.
Do we need to start saying what the episode was?
Yes.
Probably.
I mean,
Like
what the
in the
debate
title
is.
thing where you're like, the draft
a
poll.
couple hours before I post the link to the new draft, though.
I know. We should still tag it.
Maybe put the
you know
the
what,
name
dude?
of the debate or the draft in the post.
Me and Joey are dumb. So when we
True.
see it, we're like thinking of it from, our listener's perspective, Carter. Okay,
So
your
are you
elevated
calling
IQ.
I was
are you
gonna say.
calling our listeners dumb, bud?
Well, me and you are kind of dumb.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
I mean,
And
people
hey-
have met you, bud.
And hey, listeners, I don't think you're dumb. Cal
I don't
does.
think you're dumb either.
Cal does, but I don't. Okay? So now, is that going
I'm
to affect
dumb,
your
though.
draft winnings?
So,
Probably.
but I'm dumb. So don't take it personally.
I'm brown nosing the audience, and you're
For
just
sure.
like, you're fucking dumb.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, before we get to these clips, 2 things. Found out the way we get ranked higher on Apple Podcasts is if you subscribe. So, legitimately, I know that there's way more people listening to this than are subscribed. I know it's annoying, and it will download to your phone every week. I understand that might be a little bit annoying, but just subscribe, and you'll never know what even happened. It's in the cloud, dude.
The good thing is, once you listen to the episode, it automatically deletes, too.
Really?
On Apple Podcasts, at least.
Beautiful.
You don't have to do anything.
So subscribe.
It's pretty legit.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks for listening this week, guys. And here's our best of clips from this past year.
Speaking of reviews, dude, unreal. We're at 691. We have 309 reviews left till we give a banger of a giveaway. And I know bangers, okay? Yeah. And I know bangers. You're going to love this damn giveaway.
I don't know if I want to tease it. We've discussed giving away a hunt with us.
And you have no idea where in the country that's going to be.
That's just a little teaser. No promises.
Let us give you things.
Right.
And I don't know if you've noticed in our giveaways, we give away bangers. And
help me help you.
Help me help you.
And I know bangers.
Pablo's favorite song is Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus. It's so weird. Like, he just goes crazy to that.
Are you serious?
Honest to God, yeah.
So if I play it right now, he's going to go nuts?
It's a party in the USA, Pablo.
And then we lit Joey's boat on fire.
My boat started on fire that day.
Connor goes, throw water on it. I was like, don't do that.
No, there was no discussion about it. They're like, is your motor on fire? And there's so much smoke coming off it. I was like, oh my God. And I just started throwing water on it. Gavin, the electrician, is like, don't you dare put water on an electrical fire.
We're in a boat with enough water in the bottom to kill all of us. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you trying to get us killed?
How'd you guys put that fire out?
Yeah. We killed power and let it just smolder, and then we just gondoled it back. And I have a 4-minute video of Joey on my Snapchat. I was playing gondola music on my phone. And he's just like, ra-da-da-da-da-da, as he's pushing the push-pull. And it wasn't even a push-pull. It was a tree limb that we cut off with a sawzall.
That's unreal. Unreal.
Just yesterday, just introduced her to her first movie.
Aziz's first movie?
Yeah.
Space Jam?
No. Finding Dory.
Great movie.
Yeah, and
Did
she
like
actually sat still.
Really? She got sucked in.
It's fish. It's fish. Every time a fish came on the screen, which was every 0.4 seconds.
Sounds like it wasn't that fun to watch.
It was bad. It's fish. It's fish. Literally shaking. Just can't wait to say what it is. Then it goes to the next clip, and it's Nemo and his dad. It's fish. There's something about people trying so hard not to laugh, and then laughing gets me every time. Doesn't matter what it's from. You remember back in high school when someone says something really bad in class, and you really are not supposed to laugh? It is impossible not to laugh.
If you lock eyes with them, it's over. It's over.
You just got that buddy in class you look at. My friend Cole, he was the king of making you laugh in class. He'd just look at you and go, so eccentric. At any given time, he'd just be like eating his lunch. He'd be like, you're just like, what are you doing?
Did the bourguignon I cooked y'all have the feet?
Yeah, it had duck feet in it. The only thing I would change about that whole recipe is I would take the duck feet out.
Nah.
I think I'm just good on feet.
Well, I have a fetish.
I don't.
We were eating it, and Joey just had the
toenails all over my face.
He collected them. He didn't even eat them. He strung them up and hung them over his bed. Talk about getting on a plane with a gun.
It's a lot easier than you think.
It really is, dude. Get a good case. Put a couple of locks on it.
TSA.
Make sure the TSA approved locks. Bring your gun to the airport. Walk into the airport. Find the lady at the check-in desk and let her know you got firearms. She will take you to a special room. They'll take the guns. They put them through a special system. And once they do that, they take your guns away, and then you go into the airport with the rest of your shit and you go.
You cannot have your ammo in the same case as your firearm. And you can carry up to 4 boxes
per person
in your
check baggage. You cannot carry any ammunition in your carry-on. I just want to throw that out there.
Oh, no, wrong. You're telling people how to travel wrong. No, we didn't, actually. There's supposedly multiple ways of doing it, and we told you the way that we do it. The TSA lock thing, you don't want to use TSA locks?
Go ahead.
Fine.
Go ahead, dude.
I don't care. However, shut up. I made an Instagram story. It's like, oh, wow, we got through the airport. We were able to fly with our guns and our ammunition.
Holy Santos.
It's almost like we've done this before.
Right.
So you saying wrong is wrong.
And not only that, but also, you jabronis, we have literally done this many times. At the airport, a TSA agent is going to steal your gun, dude. Hey, guess what? There's more cameras in a airport than anywhere ever.
This last year, this mother calls me, and he goes, bro, there's got to be 5,000 mallards sitting on School Lake in town. We got to hunt tomorrow and mop them up. And I was like, Joey, we saw maybe 500 birds today. Maybe. And I'm being generous at 500. You think 5,000? He goes, I watched like 4 groups of like 40 dump in. I just thought out like equate. I'm like, did you look at the water? He goes, briefly as I drove by on the highway, I was like, bro, I'm done. don't ever give me a number again. Just tell me you found birds and give me the area and I will go look because I can't deal with your numbers.
You're an asshole.
I was like, I can't with you, brother. I love you and I trust that you found them. What I don't trust when you go, yeah, man, I'm headed out to the cabin. There's 40,000 canvasbacks on the lake. We're going to kill them all. And then he sends me 2 cans and a bluebill. And I'm like, what happened to your 40,000 birds? And he's like, well, they all left in the night. I'm like, yeah. I've only ever had one farmer actually be like blatantly rude to me at the door. I had a guy in Canada literally stand up from his dinner and turn the lights off. And it was daylight. So I can still see him. I was like, sir, I can still see you.
And he was
just
having
stood
dinner
there.
at 4 p.m.
Literally, it was like 3:35. He's like eating supper. And he's standing there in like, I'll never forget the red like onesie cotton from back in the day. Yes. Stands up, looks at me at the screen door with nothing, just a screen door, and just goes,
that's the best.
Just stared at me. And I was like, sir, I can still see you. And he just stood there. I bet we stood there for 5 minutes. And I was just like, I take that as a no, I'm going to go. And he just stared at me. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave.
I think we were in North Dakota and we went and knocked on this guy's door at like 3 p.m. looking for permission. And he came to the door in just his boxers.
Nice.
And he had a bathrobe on. Open.
Oh, hell yeah.
Open, dude.
Nice.
Open. Came to the door. Yeah, Joey was like, alrighty then. So what we're doing here, you know?
Hey, boys, you want to come on in?
Dude, this guy, who I think he was having is probably his 15th beer. And it was about 3 p.m. Definitely was only wearing bathrobe for the rest of that month, I'm guessing.
Hey, man, I saw Cal doesn't have any bands. I'm like, yeah. He goes, we're going to with them. I was like, I don't know if I would do that. He's like, well, he's fine. I'm going to do it. So play along. I'm like, okay. They placed a fake band on a mallard for Cal, and he played it really well. He's like, who shot what bird? And then he handed the one without a band to Logan. And then Cal's sitting there like, no way. Like, I could see it in your face. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. And you were awestruck for like 5-10 seconds. I was surprised at how quickly you saw that it was a Max Prairie's band.
I looked at it for a second and let it sink in for like a second.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, it's not a real band. It was too perfect. It was way too perfect, you know? And it was so shiny. Immediately I read it. And I was like, okay, I'll read it. Let's see what it says. If he had put a real band from his lanyard on there,
that would have been
that would have been up.
We had a little wiener dog. I mean, he was like a crazy, vicious killer of a dog. We had a pond on one side of our house. Some geese were sitting in that pond, and I had my neighbor just come walk over. Well, the geese got up and flew over my head, so I shot 3 of them. The little wiener dog swam out, and he would retrieve. So he bites the heck out of the goose. Well, the goose woke up, swam away. This is in December. I had to go chop ice to put the boat in and go get my wiener dog because the goose swam away with my dog, and that happened 2 different times.
Spring snow goose hunting is an experience. If you've waterfowl hunted and never spring snow goose hunted, highly recommend. Getting out in the springtime, everything's full plumage. It's an incredible sight to see, just to see the migration itself. Birds working from as high as you can see them, all the way down to the boot bags.
You got lessers, honkers, you got divers, you got puddle ducks, you got speckled bellies, snow geese, you got everything. You know, you got the spring migration just rolling over you. It's an amazing sight to see. Sometimes I get complacent, you know, because I've been doing it so long. You get a guy who's never been here before and done that, and all of a sudden there's tens of thousands of snow geese flying over, and they got fully plumed ducks, decoying in the spread, and specks and lessers and all that stuff. It's a hell of a show.
I've been there. Me and Connor have been at the boat launch. Remember when his motor was arcing and it was sparking all over the place, his battery? Yeah, we met early at a boat launch and got all of our shit put in the boat launch, paid to park, started up, and the motor's going zerp, 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 just arcing, dude. Like, zerp, zerp. Dude, motor arcing bad. The battery arcing bad. And no hunt for us that day. We went to breakfast.
So in Arkansas, when the hayfields get wet, we had a golf cart on the farm, and we would unscrew the roof from the golf cart, turn it upside down, tie it to the back of the four-wheeler, and you would slide across the wet grass. We didn't have ice heaves. We had ant mounds that you'd hit.
Big ant mounds.
Big ant mounds.
And when you got there, it was like pissing rain. We had seen so many snow geese, so we were like, Ben, please bring snow goose decoys. And that's all he brought pretty much. So we get out there, we set our spread.
And I think we probably sent like 30 dozen, 40 dozen out, so...
Dude, we put out so many snow goose decoys, and those first groups of ducks and geese just did not want to commit. And we were like, what the hell, man? So we pulled almost of these snow goose decoys. Yeah, they immediately wanted to come into that field. And then I was just like, damn, Ben just dragged this trailer out here with all these decoys. And we were like, dude, we're taking all these out.
We have a older mentor gentleman who was like, boys, I used to just drop a dart on the mat and hunt a lake. So I looked at Joey, I was like, do we just drop a dart and roll it? And Joey's like, we're globing it. And literally we picked a lake at random. Found out way too deep for the gear we brought. Complete shit show. We shot 2 birds. The funnest time laughing, though, and just having a riot.
One of the funniest parts of that hunt, we worked this mallard coming in, and this thing was just dangling in front of us. And Jake has not shot a lot of birds. I want to center this thing up right in front of Jake. So I'm calling. Gavin's like, what are we doing? I was like, don't worry about it. So we keep going. Gets right in front of Jake, and I was like, perfect. I go, Kit, and Gavin just destroys this thing. It's at like 8 feet. This thing is so
remember
close.
this vividly.
I was like, what are you doing? Gavin's like, I was sick of waiting for this thing, dude. What the we should have shot that thing.
I have been on this bird, shouldered gun for like 2 minutes. And I'm like, can we just kill it?
But Kodiak Island is unbelievable. Like the 3rd time I finally got surf scoter, we were 3 miles away from shore. I was high-fiving the guide, so excited, finally. And then here come a bald eagle out of nowhere, and he picks it up, and I'm like 3 miles from shore, but they just follow you. And pick up your duck. And the one day you can only shoot 7 birds. I shot 7 Barrow's golden eyes. I never even got to see one of them. The eagles picked them up as fast as I could shoot them.
Oh, my God.
And then he comes and he's like, what'd you get? And I said, 7 Barrow's golden eyes. And he goes, eagles get them? And I'm like, yep.
I don't know if you ever did this as a kid. I for sure did. And I've been seeing it on TikTok a lot lately. And it's just like instant blast from the past. Like when you got punished by your parents and you got sent into your room. And you go in there like...
Screaming to the pillow.
Screaming to the
Hit
pillow.
the pillow, yeah.
And you're just like, just like this at the door.
I've never had any super close calls. I mean, I've had some warnings from bears and stuff like that. And
What do you mean a warning?
they woof at you or snap their jaws, pop their jaws like that, or
I'm out.
Yeah. The duck is smaller and harder to hit. It moves quicker than a goose, and it flies faster than a goose.
And it takes less BBs to kill it than a goose.
Teal versus a goose.
Yeah, for sure. Take
Is
a lot
it-
less BBs. You know, you
is
get
a
that
teal-
shot even close in the range. 1 BB, dead teal.
A teal on average flies 55 miles
I've seen
an
a
hour.
lot more geese fly away from people than ducks.
I've seen a lot more ducks fly away.
How
here.
many times are there where you're like, you watch 12 geese come in, and then you shoot 2 of them, and you've got 6 shooters, and then 10 of them fly away, and you're like, what the hell, guys? When ducks come in and they finish at 20 yards, 12 of them, you're shocked if there's not like 6 or 8 dead every time.
But it happens a lot.
It will happen sometimes. I feel like you watch more geese fly away than you do ducks if you get them in tight.
Your farm is broiler chickens.
Broiler.
right?
So broiler's going to be a 7 to 9 week bird.
They only live that long before they get cooked?
Mm-hmm.
So what are they taking from your chicken?
The meat of them, all of that gets turned into McDonald's nuggets.
So all the meat or like just bones?
Good question. All the meat, McDonald's nuggets. You know what the most profitable part of a chicken is?
Absolutely not.
Chicken feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know how expensive chicken feet are, dude?
For what? What do they
For
do with
people
them?
to eat. You've never had chicken feet?
Absolutely not.
2021. I'm flying with Pablo. He rides on my shoulder, takes off, comes back, lands in my hands. Here comes 2 DNR guys, and at first they were kind of miserable. What are you doing to that goose? And I said, it's my goose. And he goes, how do you know that's your goose? And I said, well, he's sitting on my lap, see? And he goes, that's a good point.
On the bigger pigeon hunts that I've gone on, where there's just thousands of head of cattle at a place,
Yeah.
and then there's a milking operation, the amount of cats
Yeah.
that are just drinking that
On
shit
you,
up
bro.
off of the concrete floor, and you can just see shit all over the floor, and these cats are just...
Yeah.
Cats have the cleanest mouths in the world. Riri.
Yeah.
Oh, Riri. Roy has been making all of our Canada geese into ramen.
Oh, I bet that's fire.
It's fire.
just super thin sliced, cooked in broth.
Yeah, well, we're actually pulling it apart. So it's like almost like pulled pork, but it's with Asian spices
and seasoning.
Seasonings, yeah. It is unbelievable. It made Jeff turn on a top. He loved it.
Yeah.
Freaked out. Your wife made this? With geese? You got to bring me all your geese now. It's
Yeah.
like, well, what average miles per hour did they fly on the lake?
Our big Canadian geese, when we had peeps and puddles, when they went with the wind, we were going 65, 70 when they catch the wind. These guys, the most I've ever seen them go is 55. They like a speed of like 25. You know, that's
Comfortable?
yeah. Can't believe how cool it is. You'll have geese on every side of you, and you can hear, you know, their wings. And if you want to touch them, you can touch them. When they all start barrel rolling, I mean, you should hear it. Just sounds like somebody opened a door or something. Just when they
Yeah.
open their wings and flip upside down and stuff.
I don't know the full story, but apparently 5 or 6 duck hunters went down to Arkansas
From Minnesota.
and they went to a refuge, boated in, illegal, with a surface drive,
Nice.
illegal. They set up spinning wing decoys, illegal.
Illegal.
And then they brought several cases of ammo, illegal. You can only bring 25 a person. And the game warden and a bunch of locals were watching them, and they get done, and they get checked. and they get the max fine. And he goes, hey, man, here's your ticket. You should just not come back. You should just go home. And I was talking to a buddy about this today, and I'm like, what is it with Minnesota hunters where we are just constantly getting a bad name? You go to North Dakota, South Dakota, even Wisconsin. You go all over the place, and they look at your license plate, and they say, oh, you're a blue plater? No, you cannot hunt my spot. We're Minnesota nice, right? What happened to Minnesota? I know how to hunt and keep getting permission. We need to step it up. She called for this baby goat. Baby goat's name was Carl. And she's like, Carl.
The lady did that?
Mm-hmm. And the goat comes screaming, and just comes right up to Aziza, almost knocks her over, and just licks her face. Yeah. And Aziza was just freaking out. And then the other night, she woke up at the witching hour. She just sits straight up in bed. I saw it on the monitor. She was like, me. And then just sits up, Carl. Just starts screaming the goat's name. I'm like, oh, my God.
One time I had a duck field. We're shooting ducks in there all year long. And there was 4 swans in that field every day with those ducks every day. Go laying whites in that duck field. They'll think you're a swan. You'll smoke them. There's a video from a guy in New York where he lays in a honker spread. And he makes himself into a swan, and he absolutely destroys them. You get a duck field, a honker field, or something with a couple snow geese in it. Go laying whites in that dark spread. You'll get a heck of a result out of it. Used to seeing square boxes for ground blinds out there. You know,
absolutely.
You get educated ducks, and yeah, you getting whites and something they haven't seen, and it works well.
Trap shooting doesn't actually help you kill more birds. That's a very comfortable situation, right? You're out in the warmth. You're not wearing a whole lot of gear. So if you're good at shooting trap, great. How many times are birds coming 20 feet in front of you and flying away in the same directions? In reality, ducks are more so coming at you and going side to side. So if anything, I would say skeet shooting makes you a better duck hunter versus trap because everything's going away from you. With skeet, it's not in the same place every single time. Trap house, you have 5 different directions. I can tell you the amount of times that I've been duck hunting, which I would say is quite a few times, or just goose hunting in general. The amount of times that birds are coming in like a clay is 0. Speed of birds is way different than clays. I think the size of the clay makes a huge difference as well. Also, the clay is vibrant orange, so it's a lot easier for your eye to pick up on versus a bird.
What I really like about ice fishing, taking like a snowmobile and an ATV and a sled and then dragging each other around on the ice.
So not fishing.
Yeah, but you know, you can have a tip up.
Yeah, we used to make each other just bloodier than shit. Have a jet sled, like a big jet sled where you'd carry your ice house, and then you'd have a $200 snowmobile. You have Cal driving, and then 2 of us in the jet sled. Fast as this thing can go, and then you turn to try to make your buddies flip out.
Yeah.
Hit an ice heave, so then you really got flipped out. It's night-night. This is like a wind tunnel of a lake, so it's always 15 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yep.
And so no snow actually sits on the lake. It's in random spots. You're just hitting ice, and then you like slowly turn with the snowmobile, but the jet sled's like
whipping
way outside of the snowmobile.
It's like tubing on ice.
Got a new fishing app.
Tell me about it.
You know, the logical extension, right? There are a ton of hunters that are also fishermen, right? And there's options out there, no doubt, but a lot of them are terrible. And like the contour lines are great, but other than like looking at contours, the functionality just isn't there, right? So at Onyx, what we're good at, like our UI, UX, like it's just super easy to interact. We've got a ton of information, and we're going to port that over to fish. We're going to have, you know, all the contour lines and all the stuff you love about Onyx now. You know, if you want your data from hunt over into fish, you'll be able to do that as well.
What's it called?
Onyx Fish. You know, we're going to fully launch come spring probably.
Okay.
So we're getting close.
Up in Saskatchewan, I drove like 13 hours. And he said, all we have time for is just to back shoot cranes going back to the roost. Here comes a flock of cranes, and I shot one, shot the second one, and when I pulled the trigger on the third one, the first one hit me in the face, and my Benelli pistol whipped me, knocked me unconscious. I woke up, and it was pitch black, and I thought I was in a car accident. So here's this headlamp looking down on me. And I said, sir, I'm over here. And I said, was I in a car accident? And he said, no, you got your ass kicked by a bird.
Water swatting is a great effective way to reach your limit. The whole point is that you don't want to be crippling birds. So the more opportunity you have to not cripple birds, the better.
No, I don't think it's very sporting. I don't think that's how it's intended, because it is a wing shooting sport. You shoot it on the wing.
I don't try to shoot birds on the wing.
It's a phrase, bud.
I know what it is.
Wing shooting. You shoot them on the wing as they're flying. That's what waterfowl hunting is about. Is about the sport.
or is it called wing shooting because you're shooting an animal with wings? It is very hard to tell, especially for some people, how many birds are actually in a field. But without binos, Joey,
Where's
it'd be
Joey?
really hard to
Where's
tell
Joey's
how many
ass?
birds are in a field. Oh, dude, there's 20,000 out there. Really?
Dude.
I think there's 700, but
Custom fit SoundGears. Anybody who doesn't have them, go get them. It's the best money I've ever spent for a hunting product. From a guy who spends a number that I'm not willing to say to the public or even most of my friends on equipment and gear and the wide array of gear I have. Dude, I use them cow hunting. I use them duck hunting, deer hunting. I had them in when I shot my mule deer. They are the shit.
Like up in Saskatchewan, we shot them and then let them blow across a bay. The seagulls would eat all the breast right out of our geese. A whole bunch of them. They just go down and ruin all your geese.
Are their beaks like pointed at the end or something?
Oh, they kill mallards all the time. There's videos. They kill ducks. They're terrible.
And that reminds me of like Trailer Park Boys.
oh my God, dude. Ricky
Yeah.
sleeping on the ground.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
You want one? That's a legendary show. And I'll be honest, meeting some of the people in Canada, I think it's realistic.
Oh, for sure.
I think it's real, man.
Honestly, if I would give up all other hunting to just hunt coyotes and fox and bobcat, I would. If you haven't done it and you go do it, it's the biggest adrenaline rush to call one up over a hill and have it come tearing across the field. It gives me more of a rush than killing deer. It gives me more of a rush than decoy and waterfall. Like, it's a rush I can't describe. I would sell everything else and I would day hunt and night hunt predators. And I would do it all. I'd quit it all.
Wow. That's insane.
No questions.
There are a couple of groups that I've hunted with where it's like they're bloodthirsty, they're having fun, whatever. But then there's also that same group that's like, you're not going to bed. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to bed? Oh, we have to get blackout drunk. It's like, no, I don't.
Right.
No, I don't. You know, because we have to wake up super early, especially for chasing feeds. You're waking up early and you're scouting hard and you're doing all this stuff. And it's like, I'm not getting blackout drunk. I'm actually 30. My body won't let me do that.
The last time.
Hot take. I think it's more about the sport and the pictures nowadays than it is about what it used to be. It kind of pisses me off, and it's kind of making me realize who I want to hunt with more so because of that. Like, I'm planning a boys trip this fall, and it's like, okay, who's not going to whine about this or that, and who's going to be excited about eating what we killed? That is the criteria of what I'm making this trip off of.
It affects the whole vibe of the entire situation, man.
Yes, okay, these people are going to go out and scout for tomorrow. These people are going to stay back and cook dinner for everybody. These people are going to clean the birds, which is dinner. And these people are going to take care of this item, this issue, whatever.
It's a group
Seamless,
effort.
hand in glove.